Thank you very much. Well, I can definitely tell you there is definitely a hive of activity here at Nasrec as preparations are definitely underway for the conference that's set to take place from the 16th to the 20th of this month. Well, I can tell you definitely for sure that the next couple of days from the 16th to the 20th are going to be of a particular significance to the future of the country. As you know that the ANC will be deliberating in terms of electing its 80-member National Executive Committee and also the top 6, also the president who eventually will be the one who's going to contest the next coming national general elections. So as things stand, the preparations, if I can just get out of shot so you can get a sense of what is transpiring here at Nasrec, you can see that police contingency has been beefed up to ensure that there are no interruptions that actually happen. There's definitely a strict regulation where if you do not have accreditation, you are definitely not allowed to get into the premises of Nasrec, where we definitely are. So as I was mentioning, the fact that, you know, for the next couple of days, this particular meeting will form a very big significance for the future of the country, as the leadership of the ruling party is set to be elected at this particular conference. We will be crisscrossing Johannesburg, as we know that there are accreditations that are currently happening at the UJ Soweto campus. We will be going there to interact with some of the delegates that are coming to register there to try and find out which policies which they adopted at the policy conference they would want to push forward at this particular meeting. We are also going to try and reflect on the spirit of entrepreneurship that always gets kick-started whenever these conferences happen, where you know that there will be a lot of ANC regalia that's actually being sold, and we'll definitely be on the lookout for any of the occurrences that might happen, as you know that the tensions are quite high as the leadership contest is heating up towards this particular conference, which will actually be starting tomorrow.
Yeah, Ofentse, I think it's important maybe to talk about the space in and of itself, right? Nasrec, the significance of the space, and also having been there just yesterday, the sheer size of it, which really just, I think, highlights just how big of a party with a massive membership we're expecting to gather and fill up the space. And let us know if you've seen any of the leadership start to arrive today as well.
Yeah, well, we are actually at the entrance right now, so a lot of cars, as you can imagine, is the blue light brigade, so they are all moving so fast. So it's actually a daunting task to try and identify some of the VIPs that are actually arriving this morning. As you know that they move at quite high speeds when they're entering this particular premises. But I believe that once we move to the UJ campus, that is where we're actually going to be able to interact with some of the delegates, as we will be on the floor with them once they are busy trying to get their accreditation.
But it is quite a stringent vetting process that we see taking place there, right? I mean, in previous elective conferences, we have had issues where the media perhaps have had some issues with the ANC wanting to perhaps not let them into some parts of the premises. But all those who are attended are vetted, and there are areas that are accessible to some and areas that are not accessible to others, correct?
Absolutely. Well, you must have heard while they were busy preparing for this particular conference, there was some sort of a controversy that almost lit up, where they were saying that some media houses would have to pay for some spaces in order to broadcast the conference itself. And there was a furore with some media practitioners actually saying that they don't pay for news. And in fact, if the ANC wants coverage, it will have to be a transparent thing where everyone is allocated space in order to get that coverage. But in particular this year, you get a sense of how stringent the measures are, you know, in terms of even gaining entrance to the parking lot. You are definitely going to need accreditation, and yeah, it looks like it's going to be very strict this time around for the media practitioners that will be covering this particular conference this year.
And I think that for perhaps some of the social media users that are going to be looking at the images coming out of the National Conference, there is some interest in what is going to be worn, right? The regalia. We've seen in previous years ANC delegates wearing even leather jackets with the colors. Talk to us about the regalia that's on offer this year.
Thank you very much. Well, at this particular moment where we are, there isn't a lot of vendors that have set up at the present moment, but we do believe that as time goes by, there will be a lot of hive of activity where there will be people setting up when they will be selling the regalia, as is the case every year whenever there is a conference transpiring of political parties like the EFF and the ANC. There are those that actually take it as an economic opportunity in order to make a living out of this particular gathering. So in the next few hours, we should be seeing them actually starting to set up their little stalls where the by the regalia itself.
Okay, that line is giving us some trouble, but I just want to squeeze one last one in, Ofentse. No formal program for the leadership of the ANC today.
Can you repeat that?
Is there any formal program for the ANC today in the lead up to the conference kicking off tomorrow?
Well, from the reports that we've been getting, we understand that there will be a gala dinner today where they will be, engaging with each other prior to the beginning of formal deliberations when the elective conference will definitely be taking place. But as far as we know, that's it, the gala dinner that will be happening. But we will gather information as we crisscrossing between Soweto and Nasrec and FNB Stadium, where there's also some accreditations happening there.
Yeah, well, we'll trust you to keep us updated. That's our reporter, Ofentse Setimo. They're speaking to us from Nasrec in Johannesburg, where the 55th elective conference of the ANC kicks off tomorrow.